forest is alive with sound, the rustle of leaves, the snap of twigs, the whisper of wind through tall grass. For most, this symphony of nature is peaceful. But sometimes, hidden in those sounds, danger waits. In 2014, deep in the Slovakian countryside, a 77-year-old farmer named Jozef was going about his ordinary life when he suddenly found himself in a fight he never imagined. Outmatched, overpowered, and alone, he faced one of the most dangerous predators in Europe, a massive brown bear. And with nothing but his farming tools and his will to live, Jozef survived. This is his story. Welcome back to Lore of the Multiverse, the channel where we explore survival stories, forgotten history, and the incredible resilience of the human spirit. If you're new here, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and join us as we dive into tales that will leave you questioning just how far ordinary people can go when faced with extraordinary danger. Jozef had lived his entire life in the hills of Slovakia, where farmland blends with forest and wildlife roams freely. At 77 years old, his days were quieter, marked by routines he had followed for decades. Tending to his small fields, repairing fences, and gathering firewood were part of his rhythm. He knew the forest well. He knew its sounds, its rhythms, and its hidden dangers. But on that fateful afternoon, the forest did something it had never done before. It turned on him. The first sign was silence. Birds stopped singing. The forest seemed to hold its breath. Jozef paused, leaning on his worn walking stick, his eyes narrowing. Something was wrong. And then, from the brush, it came, a massive brown bear, its fur bristling, its head low, its eyes fixed on him. For a moment, time stopped. At over 300 kilograms, a Slovakian brown bear is a predator capable of killing livestock, tearing apart trees, and overpowering even young, strong men. Jozef, at 77, had nothing but his hands, his stick, and his courage. The bear roared, the sound shaking the air like thunder, and then it charged. The impact was like being hit by a truck. The bear barreled into him, knocking him to the ground. Its claws raked across his shoulder, tearing through fabric and flesh. Pain exploded through his body, but Jozef didn't give in. He grabbed the nearest thing within reach, a heavy iron farming tool he had been carrying, and swung it wildly. The blow connected with the bear's face, momentarily stunning it. But the beast was relentless. It swiped again, claws slicing across his chest, sending him sprawling. Blood seeped into the earth beneath him, but Jozef pushed himself up. He screamed, not in fear, but in fury. Neighbors later said they could hear that scream echoing across the hills. It was the sound of a man who refused to die quietly. The battle raged for minutes that felt like hours. The bear lunged, Jozef blocked with his stick or swung his tool, striking wherever he could. Each hit slowed the beast but didn't stop it. It clawed at his arms, bit into his leg, and pinned him against the ground. At 77 years old, every breath was a fight, every movement agony. But he refused to stop. Finally, with one desperate strike, he landed a blow across the bear's nose, a sensitive spot even for such a massive predator. The animal roared in pain, staggered back, and hesitated. Jozef, seizing his chance, slammed the tool down again, and again until the beast finally retreated, disappearing back into the brush, leaving him bloodied but alive. When rescuers arrived, they found him barely conscious, his body shredded with deep gashes and punctures. His arms bore claw marks, his leg was torn, and his chest was covered in wounds that could have killed a younger man. Doctors later called his survival miraculous. At his age, with such devastating injuries, he should not have lived. But somehow, Jozef endured. His recovery was long. Weeks in the hospital, surgeries to repair torn flesh, months of slow rehabilitation. But through it all, he never lost his spirit. When asked later about the attack, he simply said, "I had no choice but to fight." What makes Jozef's story so extraordinary is not just the survival itself, but what it represents. At 77, society expects weakness. But Jozef showed that survival isn't about age or strength alone. It's about resilience. It's about the refusal to let life go, even when death stands over you with claws bared. Wildlife experts later noted that Jozef's quick thinking likely saved him. By striking the bear's sensitive nose, he bought himself precious seconds. But beyond the science, His willpower was the true weapon. A man who had lived his life close to the land, who understood hardship and labor, used every ounce of that experience to endure one final trial. And that is the story of the 77-year-old farmer who fought a bear and lived. So I'll ask you, if you were in Jozef's place, staring down a predator 3 times your size, would you have fought back? Or would fear have overtaken you? Let us know in the comments below. If tonight's story inspired you, or sent chills down your spine, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Lore of the Multiverse, and ring the bell so you never miss another tale of survival and resilience. Until next time, stay strong, stay safe, and remember, sometimes, the human spirit is stronger than even the fiercest beast.